This message may be shocking to many millennials. If you are one, you might want to sit down. Right now, loads of people are searching the following on Depop. Low-rise jeans, halter top, velour tracksuit, puka shell necklace, disc belt. You likely placed these in the dark of your closet in 2004, never to be seen again. But if you can find it in yourself to dust them off, there are a lot of people who will give you money for them. Sell on Depop, where taste recognizes taste.
News team, assemble!
It's back and bigger than ever. It's the Unofficial 40 from Soonerscoop.com. Now, here's the entire Sooner Scoop crew. Carrie, Josh, Eddie, and
George.
All right, welcome back. It is the Unofficial 40 podcast right here on Soonerscoop.com podcast. And we welcome back the entire crew. Josh is back from vacation. The boys are here. They've got their coffee, their cold brews. We've got the coffee bar up and running. We've already almost gone through a 5-gallon jug of water, which those things are heavy. So now I got to go get another one. Anyway, welcome. It is Super Bowl week. It's kind of starting to get there. Seeing all the coverage, the Monday opening night was kind of interesting. I don't know how you guys feel about, like, George, have you been to a big event where you just have a lot of riffraff, like in the media scrums?
The Combine.
Every
like
Monday
that.
night.
Yeah.
During
that's
football
true.
season.
But the people asking
But
really
the Super
ridiculous
Bowl's
questions.
the Super Bowl's a different animal, just because you have, there's so many people there that probably should not be allowed in there. I can only imagine if you're like
Guillermo.
If you're like an actual beat reporter covering the Patriots,
It's
or
just got to be
whoever.
worthless to you.
Yeah, I don't even know what your plan of attack would be. It's like everybody's available, and you've got hundreds of thousands of media asking
Bunch of jackweeds.
bullshit questions. Like, I think you probably just go in knowing that, and you don't even really care. You care, but you're also like, if you're trying to talk, if you're a beat reporter for the Patriots and you're trying to talk to Drake May on the Super Bowl media day,
Yeah, to do any kind of in-depth reporting,
yeah,
it's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
I don't know.
You don't want Guillermo there?
No, I don't mind it.
I think you just have to take it for what it is.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
it's
you just
entertainment.
kind of like it's like if
No,
we,
I thought that was more of like a commentary on like Ice Carry. Carry Ice.
No, Guillermo's great.
That is an event. I talked about it this morning. I literally don't know if you could pay me to go there. That it seems like maybe the most miserable experience. I think everybody knows this. I don't even really like media day in general, let alone a Super Bowl media day.
I'm trying to think if we even really have media day. We have the thing now where they bring out all the newcomers, which is kind of nice.
We made a move.
Uh-oh.
The Oklahoma City Thunder have made a move.
Whoa.
oh wow,
You guys want to know?
Yes.
I see
It's
it.
ooze.
Oh wow,
The
Usman?
Oklahoma City Thunder have acquired Jared McCain from the Philadelphia 76ers for a 2026 Rockets first-round pick and 3 second-round picks.
that's a great trade.
Yeah, he paints his nails. Wait till people find that out.
His TikTok.
He was a good player, though.
is gonna blow up.
He's a very good player at Duke.
He's been good for the 76ers, hasn't he? Or I guess I haven't really paid attention to him. I know he had a good rookie year.
I think he had a good rookie year. To say that I've watched the ins and outs
look
of
up
the
his
76ers this year, I would be lying. I might start painting my nails, though, if he starts playing well.
He definitely has not had as good of a year this year, but I don't think he's playing as much. But I like that. Get another creator. This worries me. Maybe this means that they feel like J-Dub's not going to be 100%.
We also have some other breaking news for Eddie Radosevich. Oklahoma, the University of Oklahoma is 11th in the new Epstein rankings.
I saw that. Good job, everybody. Good job. Kept your names clean.
Number 1, University of Texas, by the way.
Oh, that's not surprising.
Most appearances of what is it? Ranking SEC schools by number of appearances of their university name in the current Epstein library. So there you go. Yeah, but no. Interesting for the Thunder. I mean, you knew Usman was probably...
He didn't get traded.
Oh, wait. It was just draft picks?
Yeah.
I just yelled it's Ooze. I just assumed
Okay.
it was Ooze.
Okay. Anyway, so
Dang,
yeah.
we're going back to back.
Okay.
They were before. Now they really are, though. Jared McCann.
I'm not really familiar with his game.
He's a good vibes guy. He will definitely fit in with the culture. That is, a lot of people thought the Thunder were going to draft him a couple years ago. He's a really good vibes guy. Him and Jay will, they will get along for sure.
Jesus. Now people are AIing me as a barista. I don't like this.
Brought it on yourself.
OU is going through a coaching search.
What?
Oh, yeah. A cornerback.
cornerbacks.
coaching search.
You threw me off.
I was like, do we have more breaking news? Has Porter been fired? They also get to build stuff.
That'd be something on the day of a game.
They also do get to build stuff now over at University of North Park.
Yeah, we actually have a lot of news this week.
So, yeah, yesterday Oklahoma Supreme Court rules that the petition is not valid and that the Rock Creek Entertainment District will not go to a public vote. Which, I get it. People that live in Norman, they have the only say in this, really. I mean, it's a lot. Like, I'm arguing with people that live in Oklahoma City this morning that I do radio with, and they're telling me, that they should let the people vote. You don't live here. We have a bunch of people that are out to vote everything down. The only people that vote are the people that don't want anything to change in Norman. And I'm of the opinion, like, Norman needs this. They need something. And look, we're members or we're residents of Campus Corner. We love Campus Corner. We love to promote Campus Corner. But you can have an entertainment district separate of Campus Corner or downtown. I mean, for a while, everybody was leaving Campus Corner and going to downtown. Like, what's the Italian place? Victoria's. Like, it left and went downtown. So, look, we got lots of cool stuff over here. But there's lots of cool stuff downtown. But out on the highway, it's just car dealerships, man, and chain restaurants. I mean, if you love Outback Steakhouse, it's right there off the highway for you. And trust me, I've eaten at Outback Steakhouse fairly recently, within 6 months, maybe.
Eddie's making a face. Eddie,
It's
go.
not bad.
Where are we going with this?
I'm just.
What is the argument?
There is no argument. I'm just saying, as someone who
he's
lives
saying
in
he
Norman,
doesn't trust the residents of Norman to vote for something good
Yes.
for the city.
Well, I don't think that it was going to pass if it was going to go to
no,
a
it
vote.
wasn't. It wasn't. It
I think it's
definitely
great. I think it's great. Deal with it. Already moving dirt.
wasn't. Eddie was out there yesterday.
It's a big area.
I'm just ready for the protesting to start. Because you know it's going to happen.
It's definitely going to happen. I do think it'll be cool.
And that's why you want Minneapolis to patrol it?
I do think it'll be awesome once it's done, and I think it's great for OU basketball. Like, if you think this is not good for OU basketball, I just don't know. I don't know what you're thinking. Like, they need this.
I think a lot of those people are probably the same people that think that they should just kill the program. Well, that's not going to happen. That's not reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, too, I mean, there's also a lot of people that haven't been to Lloyd Noble recently and don't know kind of how depressing that place can be on certain nights.
I also push back against that. If they were good at basketball, nobody would ever say anything about it.
No, but I'm saying just as a venue, it's run down, it's old.
But Eddie, they would like that. I don't buy that, because if let's say OU was a top 10 team in the country, everybody would be like, man, they need to support this team. They need a better arena for this program. Like, I think everybody knows the LNC. Now, is that the is the LNC the reason why the men's basketball team is not any good? No, I don't think any of us believe that.
No, but
it's certainly a new arena is warranted, considering this thing's been around forever, and it's just not like it's an okay. I guess it's not a great place to house your basketball program. I think this is a huge step in the right direction. I also think this idea that people aren't going to go to the games because it's further away from campus is bullshit. Like, I just don't like people that say that. One, you don't know that. And I'm not saying for sure I know people are going to go to the games, but I do think if the basketball team is good, people are going to go. They don't care where the game is.
It's also not the easiest thing to get out to, like, Chautauqua and Highway 9.
No.
Or Jenkins and Highway 9. Like, if you're in Norman, it can be, like, if you're in West Norman, it's kind of a weird trek. I mean, like,
people act like they have to travel across the Metroplex to go to these games. We're talking about driving 5 minutes down the road of a moderately busy town usually.
But
when
I think
schools in campus.
But don't you think, Eddie? You think more people? I think that with it being closer to Oklahoma City is a benefit. This new arena.
I would argue yes, but ultimately, I don't know how much any of that really truly matters. I really don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. At the end of the day, I find just the entire conversation, like, at the end of the day, did they need a new arena? Yes. And it appears that they're taking massive steps towards that happening. And I think that's overall a positive for everybody involved. The city, the school, anybody that loves the University of Oklahoma, and particularly the basketball side of things. I think it's good news. I don't know how you could sit here and shit on it. I'm not saying any of you guys are.
That's what I said. It's like, I don't understand people how anybody would think this is a negative for OU.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh, no. We have some bad Thunder news. Thunder guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander sustained an abdominal strain in last night's game against the Magic. He'll be reevaluated following the All-Star break.
That's fine. That's not bad news. That just means he can't get hurt.
Can't play against the Spurs.
That's okay.
Anyway, I think...
Guys, and I want to, from a strictly football perspective, the only thing I can offer in this basketball conversation, people that think there's no connection, you got to remember how many times OU has football visitors on campus, and they tie it in to basketball games. So having an environment, having an atmosphere, that can help football too. Like that is a, I know there are some people out there like, just talk football. Like, I get it, but there is connectivity between those things. And like last weekend, they had several commitments, couple of key guys on campus, and they were at that OU Texas game that, I get that it's Texas, so there were some people there, but we've all seen when OU is even pretty good, LNC is going to be packed for a Texas game.
Yeah, and George, I think you felt the same way that I did yesterday when we were showing the renderings on the YouTube thing. Like, it just looks so nice. Like, to see something that new and modern and ahead of the curve a little bit, like, it's refreshing for OU basketball, men's and women's.
Yeah, they needed it. They need this. Like, I think it's great, and I think that, like, if they build the entertainment district the way that they've talked about, like, around it, I think it'll be a really cool place to go. Like, I think people will want to go out there and go to games and, go drink at the bars and restaurants. And if they can build stuff that's sort of similar to what Oklahoma City's done in their downtown and midtown area and all that stuff, like, I think it would be awesome for the city of Norman.
Yeah, and I think, maybe it's instead of, it'll be a little bit of a battle. Like, can Norman get acts that, like, usually are at the, like, Criterion or something like that? Like, I don't know. They're going to have other events for those businesses and bars to, and restaurants to kind of survive. But, look, that area people come to from Lexington and Purcell and Pauls Valley, and they'll come in on the weekends. Freaking Olive Garden is packed every night. Like, people come to Norman from south of here, and there's nothing really, and more. But, like, you guys live up in Oklahoma City. Everything is north. Everything goes north. Like, everything that they're building is either around Penn Square or, up in Edmond. So it's kind of, I think it's good for Norman. It's good for this, south of the metro. I think it's all a good thing. And like I said, nobody's really has any thing that they can do. You can't change what's happening. It's the Supreme Court's ruled, and it's going to be built. So anyway, we can move on to other things. Like, Josh, I didn't even realize this. It's National Signing Day today.
It was obviously part of my thinking when I took the trip when I did, but I didn't think anything was going to happen until like late yesterday, guys. There was nothing that I'd heard about. OU did a good job keeping it quiet that they were going to have a signee on National Signing Day. Something, guys, last night tracking that down, that felt like the old days of recruiting.
Make you feel good?
Yeah, no, I was like in my element. I was like, oh yeah, okay, and I'm hitting people up and making calls, and that was a walk down memory lane for me. You don't ever get stuff like that anymore, where it's really that out of the blue. So I thought that was I actually had a fun time with that last night. So, but yeah, for those listening, maybe haven't tracked it, don't follow us, don't do all this stuff. LeBron Bauer, a defensive back from Allen, a school that's been pretty good to Oklahoma with the names of like Kyler Murray and Bobby Evans and some others in there as well. Signed with Oklahoma this morning and is a guy that, from what I gathered, is a guy that Oklahoma has been working on kind of behind the scenes for a little while now. I think they were, and I had somebody say, well, look at his offer list. Why did they have to go behind the scenes? I don't mean that they had to go sneak him in. I think they were trying to keep him out of the sights of some other schools, and at the same time trying to make sure they could make all the behind-the-scenes stuff work as far as whatever NIL was going to look like, whatever their roster numbers were going to look like. It's not like people want to just make it this simple thing. It's more complicated than that. And so I think Oklahoma had to do some legwork. And my impression is that sometime yesterday they felt like, okay, we're ready to move forward with this.
What can you tell us about LeBron Bauer? Obviously, great program at Allen. Been a minute since Oklahoma, I feel like it's dipped down into Allen High School, but I think they've kind of somewhat, correct me if I'm wrong, they're starting to make that turn back to one of the premier institutions in the state of Texas. What can you tell us about him? 5'10", what is he listed at? 5'10", 150 is what we have him listed at. Is he heavier than that? And kind of what's the track here for Mr. Bauer, who I would have to imagine this is maybe the first OU signee and or recruit that they've recruited that he's totally named after LeBron James, right? This is the first installment of that.
This is the first guy they've landed for sure, which just amazing. Like, because I can remember watching LeBron as a rookie and no one had ever heard that name before, and that's just dating me terribly. But no, Allen's a program that had fallen off over the last probably 4 or 5 years, not to like just terrible levels, but from which we remembered of Kyler Murray and some of those like teams that were like literal, national championship contenders. They weren't there, but this team went 14-1 last year, went all the way to the state semis and got beat by Duncanville, beat North Crowley, who was the defending defending state champions in the quarters. So I mean, this is a good Allen team. And the thing, and I messaged you guys this morning as I was just going through the tape and looking at everything. Okay, this guy blocked 10 kicks, and I don't mean in his high school career. I mean as a senior, he blocked 10 kicks. I've never heard of that. I don't know. Like 3 is an unbelievable number. I don't like. At some point, guys, if you're an opposing coach, don't you just say we're just going to go for it? Like we're not messing with this. This is a problem.
Yeah, I'd never heard of something like that. I would imagine he's coming off the edge when he does all that stuff, or
that's what you see on tape. And okay. I mean, and again, it adds up because to me, this guy, when I look at him, I know people see 5'10", 150. My understanding is that is from a camp when he was like a sophomore. Okay. And I just don't know that it ever really got updated. What I've heard is he's probably still about 5'10". He's not the world's biggest guy, but probably like 173, 175.
That's a little bit better.
I've kind of seen it thrown around. Yeah. That, it's realistic. Now, talking to some people around Dallas, and I know our guy Lynn Bias Kenny, who we all love. He mentioned, he thinks he's a guy that probably needs a year to redshirt. He's seen him this season, so I kind of lean on him a little bit. Thinks a year for redshirt would be really good for him. But again, guys, I just go back to what the two things Jim Nagy said on the early signing day. One was they wanted another corner. Okay, this checks that box. And secondarily, how much they want their defensive backs and linebackers to kind of be a huge piece, or, not even they want to. It just kind of is the way it is. Your linebackers, your defensive backs are going to have a big role in special teams. And I think there's no question. I mean, what we just talked about, he's that kind of guy. He returned a couple of kickoffs for, I'm sure they're kickoffs, but he returned a couple of kicks for touchdowns, had 4 defensive touchdowns. So this dude, like somebody, it was actually Kenny, made a comp to Zach Sanchez, like just kind of always around the football, just that kind of guy. I think he's probably more of that, slot corner, like cheetah, kind of the way, Kendall Dolby played it, that kind of thing. That's kind of what I see for him. But at 175, we know he's going to have to get bigger before he can really play that role. But that's kind of what I see when I watch him. And again, this is a guy, I know people look at the rankings and kind of write him off. I get the impression OU really wanted to make this happen. They're pretty excited to have him.
Well, and at the end of the day, like roster, OU has to fill the roster. And if you can go get a kid from Allen who, again, you just look at his stats and you're like, okay, this guy played for one of the premier programs in the state of Texas and was extremely productive. Why would you not add him to your roster if you can? And I know I get the size thing for sure. You definitely want somebody that's a little bit lengthier, and we've talked at length about why, who OU's going at in that nature. But, like, look at Eli Bowen. Have you guys seen Eli Bowen's? He's listed at 5'9", 183. It's not like he's the biggest guy. Not saying that this guy's going to be Eli Bowen, but, like, we've seen it, play out for Oklahoma where they've had smaller corners and they've played extremely well. So I like the pickup. You can add a kid like that, again, down in the DFW area, been super productive. I'm sure you got him for a cheap price. Like, why not?
And you look at the offer list. I mean, you're talking Houston, Arkansas, Texas Tech, Arizona State. So it's not like OU. I always get a little leery when a school, of Oklahoma's caliber is recruiting against Bethune-Cookman, or you're like, okay, are you that much smarter than everybody else? But there's some good offers in there that make you're like, okay, this guy can play. There's other evaluators out there that think he can play at the P4 level. So that gives you some credence to this. And guys, the comparison I made in the commitment breakdown was Trey Norwood, kind of in that I think he could play a little corner. I think he could play a little safety. Obviously, when Trey was at Oklahoma, that cheetah role didn't exist. But at the same time, kind of a longer, kind of lanky guy, but not like a huge body type. I mean, Trey was always lean and kind of skinny, but a guy that was good around the football. And that's what I see. The dude is just around the football all the time. He's not the world's biggest guy, but he's physical. He'll come up and play run. He's comfortable in the flats. They like to blitz him off the corner, which kind of plays into what Kerry was talking about with him coming off the edge and blocking kicks and stuff. So, again, I think there is something, and somebody was, I think Jim Nagy said something a couple days ago, and I can't think it's unrelated, but it was something about toughness having carryover. Like, that's the one thing that between high school and college, if I see a guy it's tough, that'll carry over to the next level. Obviously he was talking from college to the NFL, but same principle exists. And this kid, I mean, he's tough. Like, whatever else I can say about him, he'll stick his nose in there. He'll go make a play when he has to.
All right, so signing day officially. How many guys, I mean, with NIL and stuff, I guess I would assume that most people sign an NIL deal before they sign, like, national letter of intent papers or whatever, but that's still something that happens, though, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's something that I know back in the early period, because we had that, like, there was a little bit of a lag there with some of the announcements, and I talked to somebody and they're like, oh, they're just spreading it out, but they had all the NILs pretty early in the morning. Honestly, most of those came in very, very, very much on time. There was a clear plan to it.
Well, I mean, let's just kind of run through it. I mean, what to you about just this class in general? I know we've talked plenty about it, and you have the early signing period, but looking through it now, I mean, I guess how many late additions have there been since the early signing period? 2 or 3?
Yeah, it's almost always been a guy that like, oh, he didn't want to sign, or there was. I'm trying to think. Was Deshaun White sticks out in my head, and I want to say Deshaun was like one of the first early period guys, and I think he committed because he committed at the Army game back when it's still the Army game. And then waited until, because I want to say that was like year 1 or year 2 of the early signing period. So there's been a few, but OU hasn't dealt with a lot of high drama. There hasn't been a lot of those guys that ran it out. It's been, they found this guy later on, kind of like this situation, but usually you knew OU was involved. This is kind of unique where a guy comes along, and again, OU was aware, but not a guy that everybody else had on their radar is like, well, OU's involved with this guy.
All right. Anything else, recruiting-wise? I mean, we're going to do a recruiting report. That's still to come this week. But just anything else about signing day or just this recruiting class in general that is worth going over?
For 2026, not a ton. I will say, just as a to kind of tease stuff that's going to come. Heard some early reviews, and I get the impression Zephan Walker is a guy that people may be more impressed with than they expected to be. A lot of the names that everybody expected to be good, the Jonathan Hattons, that stuff, like in some of the early offseason testing, been very good. But I think Zephan Walker has come in and been a little more ready maybe than the average fan might expect.
All right, I want to get to some coaching changes that are going on in the OU football program, but first, Eddie, you know who the next cornerbacks coach is going to be? Do you have that kind of vision?
Yeah, I do. I put it behind a paywall, my own paywall, though. It's on a Patreon site. Then put it on Sooner Scoop. New year, Sooner fans, and that means new opportunities to get back into the playoff, win championships, and thanks to Enjoy Vision, save $1,000 on LASIK and lens replacement contacts and readers. Very, very last season. It's time to see every play, every highlight, and every win with crystal clear vision. Schedule your free LASIK or lens replacement consultation at enjoyvision.com. That is the letter NJOY vision.com. And start the new year with a fresh perspective and keep an extra $1,000 in your pocket while you're at it. Enjoy Vision. This is where Suitor Scoop LASIKs.
I like to tell you about peptides. Even if I run into you on the street, I'll tell you about peptides. But CodyDrugRx.com, that's where you want to go for your peptides. Whether you're looking to drop weight, boost energy, or just feel better heading into 2026, Cody Drug has you covered. They've got multiple custom compounded peptide-based weight loss options, including popular GLP-1 medications, performance-focused peptides that help you recover faster, burn fat, stay sharp. Hey, are you a Oklahoma med spa or a longevity clinic? Cody Drug would love to team up with you and deliver high-quality peptides quickly, safely, and with top-tier service to your customers. Go check them out at CodyDrugRx.com to learn more and see how you can get started. Cody Drug, personalized medicine built for champions. Go check them out at CodyDrugRx.com. Get your peptides. All right, Jay Valai is off to the NFL. He's taking a job with the Buffalo Bills. I saw where he put a nice note out to Sooner fans. Josh, I know you've contacted some recruits that he was their primary recruiter on. What's been kind of the reaction that you've gotten so far?
I think it's been a lot of the same of what you see from some of the the players, like even guys that have departed. Gentry Williams had nice messages, that kind of stuff. I think it's very much like love that guy, and for Mikael McCreary, at least in 2027, I don't get the impression it changes much for him. Like he was, kind of said, I'm still locked in. I really trust Brent Venables to go hire the right guy at corners coach. Now, who that's going to be, obviously, we'll get into. But I didn't get the impression that it had a big impact on him and his thinking. And, the one that I think a lot of people have asked me about is Gabriel Osborne from Mustang, the big-time corner that's not committed. And I don't think there's any question Gabriel likes Jay Valai a lot. I think he's a kid that values relationships. I think the timing is good enough and it's early enough that whoever comes in to replace him, and maybe it's, a guy that he's already familiar with, I don't think it's going to hurt OU because I think OU has such a considerable lead to begin with. Like I think that's probably going to work out and be fine. It'll be interesting with some other guys, but some of the others that you could talk about, like Juju Johnson from Long Beach Poly. Well, his primary relationship, Stacey Ford, like that's where that comes from. So I think as long as Stacey's at Oklahoma, I'm sure he liked Valai and there was a good relationship there. But just a few weeks ago when OU went to see Juju, it wasn't Jay Valai that went to see him. It was Xavier Brewer.
Yeah, and you talk about the hire, George. I know you've had a hot board out there, but I think the way that I kind of look at it is Brent has a history, especially on defensive coaches. I know people are going to bring up Ted Roof or whatever, but Brent's a guy that brings in people that he's familiar with to coach defensively. I mean, Nate Dreiling was an outlier, but I think you have to say he's been a really good success story so far. The players love him, and he seems to have the respect of everybody. So, it's not impossible that he could go and hire somebody that he hasn't worked with before. But like you mentioned, Josh, Xavier Brewer seems to be, George, kind of one of the biggest names at the top of most people's lists that Brent would possibly replace Jay Valai with.
Yeah, and he would make a lot of sense, right? I think that's why everybody's just kind of included
connecting
him.
Those dots, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think any decisions have been made yet. Like if it was Xavier Brewer for sure, then maybe we would know by now. But he's been out on the road recruiting, and that's not because they thought Jay Valai was leaving. Jay Valai had a baby, I think, over the last month, and
which is incredible, medical miracle.
His wife had the baby.
Okay, thanks, Eddie. Good joke.
I just wondered if anybody caught on.
Great joke there. Anyways, that's why Xavier was out on the road, but he would make a lot of sense. He's been obviously coaching in the system now under Brent for the last 4 years. The players love Xavier Brewer. He's helped a lot out with the cheetah position, but now with Wes Goodwin coaching the cheetahs, I think Xavier's probably working more with the defensive backs. He would make a lot of sense to just elevate him. He played in the system under Brent at Clemson, so he would make sense. But I think there's a lot of guys that would make sense. We put out the hot board. I think there's like 10 names I put on there. Quite a few former OU defensive backs. Dom Franks is one that I know we've all kind of heard as a potential candidate. He's at Tulsa right now, coaching the corners there. Obviously played for Brent and OU. What was that? 2006 to 2009, I think he was at OU, and he's kind of quickly climbing the coaching ladder. So he would make some sense. I know Gabe Lynn has been brought up. He's at UCLA right now. I don't know. I at the same time, I don't know if it's for sure going to be one of those guys. Like if you told me it was somebody else and maybe they have some other connection to Brent. I just think that you're right though, Kerry. They'll have some sort of connection. I don't know if it'll just be somebody totally outside the box.
I don't get the sense there's I don't know. Is this a situation that there isn't really a whole lot of sense of urgency in?
No, but I do think
to get this done. But
I think they know I think they kind of know who they want to hire.
You want to get it done in a timely fashion. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you're still about a month out though from really starting to think about spring ball or anything like that.
Yeah.
I wonder too if it might not be somebody. If it was somebody that maybe Brandon Hall knows or has worked with or respects as a cornerbacks coach. Because, I mean, he's going to be working side by side with them. And I think a lot of people thought that maybe Brandon Hall would be the defensive coordinator after Zach Galley left. I remember, I think you were told the same, George, like he turned it down. He told Brandon he didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to. And I think, I don't know how much, I think it was more of, I don't know if he would be calling plays in that scenario, but I think that it was kind of brought up, and it ultimately was just better for Brent to call the plays. But I don't know. I don't know who they're going to hire for this job. I think Jay Valai did a heck of a job over the last few years. Like if you look at that cornerback room, I think
look at the production,
the production, the talent in that room. I think it's been a really good position for him. I also don't blame him for going to the Bills. Like that's a great job.
We said it on the Instant Reaction Show on YouTube too. It's like it's one of those times when a coach leaves and it feels like, okay, yeah, I get that. He's going to the NFL. Everybody wants to get to the NFL at some point.
And even in college, he hadn't been around. I mean, he didn't stay at places.
It was irregular that he had been here for so long, since 2022. So It kind of, I'm not going to say it's a win-win for both sides because I don't think that Oklahoma necessarily wanted to lose him, but you get it. You understand it. It's not like him leaving to go to, the Notre Dame talk was out there last week. It's not like him going to Notre Dame and you're going to be competing against him necessarily. At least that's the way that I kind of see it.
The world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
Josh, are there any names that you really like for the position?
I aside from maybe the ones that we've talked about, I think Gabe Lynn's kind of interesting, guys. And I know that's a name that people are familiar with. I guess the other I would say that's a little more off the beaten path would be Ray Brown, the 49ers corners coach, a guy that's connected to Oklahoma City. Would split the difference between Eddie and I as a PC original guy.
I don't think I realized that.
Yeah, he's Putnam City guy.
Crazy.
So, but no, and it's kind of the opposite deal. Like, would he be interested in that? Would that be something he's got a lot of time spent at the college level, but he was never really at a program like Oklahoma. Would that interest him to be able to go after the best guys in the country? I mean, he was at some good programs, but nothing crazy. And I don't know if he wants to get back to the college game or not. So I think that's a kind of an open question. But I think Gabe is interesting because he's got some P4 experience. He's worked with this staff. I know some of the guys that people have connected, the Chip Vineys, the Will Johnsons, and those would be fine hires. I'm not against those by any stretch, but those guys don't know this staff. Like, there's no they were at OU, but they have no affiliation. I guess the easiest line you could draw is between Mike Stoops and Brent Venables, because that's the guys that know those people. So I don't know what that would look like, if that would matter. It may not. But and again, I'm not one that it's got to be somebody from Brent's tree. But we know how coaching hires usually work, especially if it's on a weird timeline like this, where you kind of got to go. Maybe lean on someone and say, hey, man, we need you. We need you now, and go at it from that angle. So, again, I think Gabe's interesting because he's got some P4 experience. He's recruited at a high level. We know Oklahoma's trying to make some impact in Southern California, and him being at UCLA the last couple of years, I think he has some connection there.
I also I understand people's argument about you don't want to hire another OU guy that's just a former alum, but I kind of I don't know, maybe it's just the defensive side of the ball. I just kind of trust Brent to hire somebody that's going to, be able to develop and recruit. I don't know why, but he's put together a heck of a defensive staff. So I kind of just trust him. Even, I think Ted Roof would probably be the one that you would say was a bad hire. But I also understood it at the time. Even Zach Alley, I thought was a pretty good hire. He just happened to leave. I just think that, I kind of just trust Brent to make it. And also I would say that Brent hasn't just gone out and hired a bunch of OU guys. I mean, look at Nate Dreiling, like Carey said, Jason Witten, Ben Arbuckle. These are guys that had zero ties to Oklahoma. So I think it just would make sense. If you hired a Dom Franks or a Gabe Lynn or Brandon Shelby, all those guys, it would just, you look at their pedigree and also the understanding of, coming in and knowing the defense and what Brent's asking them to do. I think that it would make sense, and understanding the recruiting area.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dom Franks is the one guy that maybe doesn't. It's which one of these things are not.
His resume,
the other.
His resume definitely is not as
strong,
good.
Yeah.
It's definitely not as good. But maybe it's something again. If he hired Dom Franks, I'd just trust Brent, I guess. And maybe that's me drinking the Brent Venables Kool-Aid, but they are, they were just a top 10 defense in the country this last year.
Kind of earned that right to be trusted.
Yeah.
He deserves a little bit of grace. You get this little grace period here to kind of do what you want.
I also just think that whoever it is taking over a room that I think is pretty darn good in terms of the talent that's returning that played this past year. Like,
it sounds really bad, but it's the cornerbacks coach. You know, like he's not coming in and going to retool the defense. It's not somebody that's coming in and having to rebuild a room. If you just have somebody that can come in and be a good teacher and continue to progress and develop, I don't see how you could go wrong here.
He's got two of the best young cornerbacks in the SEC.
Yeah,
to start with.
You got some good tools in there. I don't know. Maybe that sounds bad. And I think Jay Valai was really good. Obviously, he's getting an opportunity in the NFL. But it's hard for me to think that you're going to look back and go, they really screwed up that hire. Maybe more so or less so than you could or maybe easily could seeing an offense that's not working or a defense that can't get off the field.
I think with anything, if it's one of those guys, you're going to be like, okay, that makes sense. If it's not one of those guys, it's going to be like Nate Dreiling, where you're like, oh, okay, well, Brent knew his dad, and he's like this state championship, winning monster.
It's going to be somebody
and
he was a 4-time All-American.
Did pretty damn well this year. I know the Brent plays a big role in the linebackers, but I think everybody felt like the linebackers played pretty well.
I would say that because we get to go out to so many practices, like that's what surprised me most is like when Ted Roof was here. Brent was still the linebackers coach. I mean, even though he was the linebacker, like Ted Roof was in charge of him, but Brent was over there every practice, like coaching them like he was their position coach. He hasn't been doing that with Nate Dreiling. Like Nate Dreiling runs his own position group, runs all the drills. Brent goes,
and I think it helps that he has.
Place.
I think getting Wes Goodwin was huge too because he trusts Wes Goodwin to do stuff.
Like, OU has a very qualified analyst group.
Yes.
And I think that we talked about that a little bit last week.
Well, look what they're
with
paying.
With the Board of Regents stuff. I think that Brent he feels like there is a significant value in maybe what I think a lot of people would determine is like overpaying an analyst role.
Yeah.
And if you can get a former coach, like a former head coach or somebody like a Wes Goodwin that has worked alongside Brent that knows exactly what he wants to do, I think that we've put a lot of stock into it since day one, but I think that it's kind of come true that those were big, massive additions. I wouldn't say like big hires, but they were big additions to what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up just the staff directory to see kind of what else besides.
Well, just look at. They're not technically like on the 10-member on-field staff.
That's
but
one
look
thing
at
too we need to get used to is like this idea that yes, you have your 10 assistants that can go out and recruit. That's why it's important. But other than that, everybody else is an assistant coach. Like Xavier Brewer, even if he's not listed as the quote unquote cornerbacks coach or whatever, like we all know he's out there now with the new rules where these guys can help coach and practice and during the games.
Look at Kuziewski. Look at Doug Deacon and what he's been able to do with the special teams unit that I think everybody has said to it. Man, they got the Luke Rosa winner. First team All-SEC punter and Grayson Miller. I think that those analyst roles have become quite large at Oklahoma. I don't know how other schools do it, but I get the feeling that Oklahoma has a pretty good crew over there.
Yeah. If you have guys that you can trust to be out there talking to your players at practice and basically like Wes Goodwin almost coaches a position or does kind of coach a position, like those are good people, and they've done a good. And remember, it wasn't that long ago when Alabama and Georgia were leading the world in analysts, and OU was like Bob Diaco. We're hiring our one analyst or whatever. It's like
Bob Diaco.
Those roles have definitely grown, I would say, over the last 10 years
at OU
as a whole, but specifically at OU, I think they've really tried to take advantage of it. And I guess we're only 3 years in now, or 4 years? It might be more than that an analyst could quote unquote coach on the field. Remember when there was that rule that you can have an analyst, but he can't actually coach, but everybody knew that they were really coaching behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'm just looking now, and then you add in the front office with Jim Nagy and his people, and you're paying all those guys.
They don't and Josh, I know that you'd probably back this up. They don't land a LeBron Bauer today without a front office that has done some of this background work and digging and trying to kind of fill that last those last roster spots.
Oh, there's no question. And that's guys like, I know we were talking before we started the offer that went out to Graydon Howell. The guy he'd been in primary contact with over the last few weeks was Cale Pearson, the high school recruiting. I mean, so that is a big function of what those guys do is if this happens, if we miss out on this guy or this guy goes in the portal or, whatever, what's our next move? Like they want to, it's kind of like the old adage about, the athletic director that has the 4 names in his desk of who he's going to hire if the coach leaves. It's the same idea. It's just for players. Like they always want to know who is our next move. And that's tough when you're coaching and running through that grind. But that front office, that's all they're thinking about is how do we build this roster going forward and it's kind of through eventualities.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, to have a full staff and their full-time job is just looking at players, which is, I know there's been some ups and downs in as far as the football staff versus the front office staff, but they do make their lives a lot easier.
Is it safe to say, let me ask you guys this, and that we have 8 months to discuss this, but is this, when you look at the roster, the guys they've brought in from the transfer portal and the guys that they've brought in from the high school ranks and also the guys that they were able to retain, is this the best roster top to bottom OU's had in Brent Venables' career? Just from a pure talent standpoint.
In Brent's time?
Probably.
I mean, it's this year or last year, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to. That's my thing. Is like I'm going over like what. I mean,
2023
was
2023 was a pretty talented group. When you look at, you had a first round draft pick in Tyler Guyton. Like your offensive talent in 2023 was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean they just don't.
But you were starting like Isaiah Coe on the defensive line though. Like that was your best defensive tackle. So I kind of think it is. Now that's somewhat betting on the guys that they've added in the portal or some of these freshmen coming in, but I do think that the roster from a holistic standpoint is probably the best on paper that they've had during Brent's time.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me that yesterday.
Yeah.
If I thought that the roster as it stands today is better than what they've had previously.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you some time to think about that, Eddie, because I want to tell everybody about Lucy real quick. 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco free. Everybody knows I'm a big Lucy guy here in the office. I've got the subscription. It's I'm not saying it'll do it for you, but it's gotten me off of anything tobacco based. Just pop in my Lucy during the day. And gives me everything I need. Lucy Breakers also out there, the nicotine pouches with the extra surprise. Each pouch holds a little capsule that can be broken open to release extra flavor and hydration. I know I've tried the Breakers. I liked them. I had the mint for a while, but I'm a wintergreen man myself, and I also have some of the espresso every once in a while. It's kind of a nice after dinner nicotine pouch. But I started out at 12 because I was doing the real stuff, and now I'm down to 8 milligrams. You can go down to 4 if you want to. But yeah, I mean, look, Lucy's the only pouch that gives you long-lasting flavor whenever you need it. You can get 20% off your first order when you buy online with the code SoonerScoop. And if you don't want to wait, just head to lucy.co/stores to find Lucy near you and grab it today. I actually looked in just down the street. There's somebody that sells Lucy. I might go visit them while I'm waiting for my next subscription to come in, see if they have some wintergreen pouches right here on Campus Corner on Ask. So, look, here comes the fine print. Lucy products only sold for adults of legal age, and every order is age-verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine, and nicotine is an addictive chemical. So go to lucy.co/SoonerScoop and get yours today. All right, best roster of the Venables era. Eddie, I was thinking, like, I just don't know. Defensive line last year, like, that's the best defensive line of the Brent Venables era. I don't know if defensively they're going to be as good. They're going to be thin at linebacker.
Here's what I think.
Front line, I think this is the best roster.
Yes. I think, though, Kerry, defensively, I have questions about up front. I think they're, like, starting four, like if their starting four
Yeah.
is Danny Okoye, Taylor Wine, Jaden Jackson, or PJ, whatever, Jaden Jackson and David Stone, that's really good. I do think their secondary and linebackers are going to be pretty good next year.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, we've talked about the cheetah a little bit. I mean, and maybe that other safety, but I think Peyton Bowen's come on so strong that he's going to make them better at the safety position.
The thing that I think makes the roster the best overall is offensively, I think it's the best roster that they've had since the 2023 offense.
Yeah. Look, I think it's comparable. I think you got to have some guys come on that haven't been kind of quote unquote stars to make it better than it was a year ago. But I don't think there's any question offensively this will be a better roster than it was a year ago.
Yes.
I mean, no question. Just look at the receivers they brought in.
Yeah, and I think
and the offensive line is going to be stable.
Just being back, having guys back, I think will be huge. So I don't know. I think there's reason for optimism. Again, we can talk about this for the next 8 months, but it just feels like with what Jim Nagy,
well, you have to lock in your answer today and then defend it for 8 months.
What Jim Nagy? I am excited to get out to spring practice and just kind of see.
I wish
some
it
of these
started
guys.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
honestly.
But I just think that what the front office staff has done and what Brent has done and keeping guys and bringing guys in, I think that it's in a good spot.
And you mentioned it has been a lot of news lately. I believe the Board of Regents meeting happened between the last time we podcasted.
Yeah, that was on Friday last week.
That was on Friday last week, and everybody was on there. We had a lot of questions about, okay, maybe Emmett Thomas is, Emmett Jones, sorry. Who's Emmett? Anyway, Emmett Jones, sorry.
You might be thinking of Clarence Thomas, who was in the Epstein files.
There we go. Number 11, OU. You're number 11. No, but Emmett Jones, we were wondering, okay, his contract's running out. Would they not renew him? But everybody was either renewed or got a raise, except for DeMarco, who was already 2 years, got 2 years left on his contract, so he wasn't in there. But just overall, your thoughts on the coach's contracts. I mean, Kevin Wilson, we mentioned, had a pretty big number next to his name.
Yeah, $500,000. Yeah, I mean, my thoughts are that they are what I thought they would be. Miguel Chavis got a huge raise.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the bigger takeaways. He's up to $1 million in his salary, but everybody got extended through 2028. So now that doesn't mean they won't pop up next year and get more extensions, but I think that, everything's pretty standard. Like nothing too super crazy. Todd Bates is over $1 million as well now.
It's certainly apparent, and I think that they have shown this in the recruiting as well. They're trying to build this from the inside out. Offensive line, defensive line, those are the two most important positions on the football team and especially in the conference. And Oklahoma's coaches are being paid because of that. I think the pay reflects that.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like everything else. It's just like your rosters. People are not going to stop coming after good coaches. And you're going to have to, if you want the best, if you wanted Todd Bates, Miguel Chavis is making a name for himself. I mean, look at the development of R. Mason Thomas. Look at what he's doing with Matt, Taylor Wine.
Matt Romar? Is that who you're going to say?
No. Wait,
Matt Diamond?
Romar? Matt Diamond was the crazy
Matt Diamond.
one.
Oh,
Matt Diamond. I love Matt Diamond. He was
Matt
crazy.
Diamond.
Didn't he
Great.
kick a play? Kick a
It was
Baylor
an
player?
extra point. It was an extra point at Baylor.
Yeah,
and
I
he
remember this.
literally kicked a guy after the play and got thrown out of the game.
I want to say he blocked the kick.
I think he did.
think
Blocked
he
the
did.
kick and got.
And was the guy on the ground? Did he step on him, or did he
I thought he kicked him in
yeah,
the crotch
something
or
like that.
something.
It was something along
like
those
he
lines. It was a dirty.
spiked him or
it was
something.
a dirty play
Yeah.
for sure.
I wonder what he's up to
I think
these days.
Ethan Downs is a great example of development that we probably don't talk about enough.
No,
He's
no.
got on a
No,
roster at the end
absolutely.
of last year.
Jonah
Josh,
Lawalu.
right?
Jonah
Right, Ethan
Lawalu
Downs?
should be,
Right.
Yeah, sure.
like the poster child.
George, I was going to ask you, did you have any impression that maybe, I don't know if anybody made a real run at Miguel Chavis, but maybe some people sniffed around him a little bit to kind of see what his interest might be?
Yeah, I don't know any schools for certain, but I definitely think that he probably got some calls. I don't think Miguel would leave. There's a part of me that thinks Miguel Chavis would work for Oklahoma for free. But
As long as Brent Venables was the head coach.
yes. But I do think that his, pay raise is a reflection of obviously the job he did this year with the defensive ends. But also I think schools are probably calling him. It's kind of like Todd Bates. Like we hear every year that schools are calling Todd Bates and Bill Bedenbaugh.
Yeah.
I will say, and I was thinking about this the other day, I think that there's something to be said for the way that Dabo was able to keep his staff together for so long, that I do think that it rubbed off of Brent in a good way, that he's been able to keep these guys. They're very loyal, I would say, to the cause. Maybe that's just the easiest way to say it. I don't envision a time where Brent Venables is the head coach and he doesn't have Todd Bates and Miguel Chavis on his staff. Now that could change, obviously, but
yeah,
it just seems like they're pretty lockstep.
If they won let's say they won the national championship or something,
I think that changes things.
Yes, I think Todd Bates is going to get head coaching calls.
Yeah, I think that would be fair.
How old is Todd Bates?
Not as old as you probably think.
Yeah, he's not.
I would guess he is.
Okay, I got it.
Right at 50.
I was going to say 47.
42.
Okay,
He's
older.
42. Huh?
So I thought he's
That's young.
a lot younger than I thought he was.
Yeah,
That's really young.
I think he's going to be a head coach someday.
He'd come out with some pretty kick-ass acronyms, wouldn't he?
Yes.
As a head coach.
And see, that's the
Would
thing.
would that hurt his time? I don't know if he'd have time to work on that the way he does.
Yeah, that's true.
But he'd be able to afford someone to do all the graphics for
I don't
him.
know. Maybe he won't be a head coach. It's kind of like Bill Bedenbaugh. If you would have asked me 15 years ago if Bill Bedenbaugh would be a head coach, I guess I was only 16, or I guess I would have been 14. I wouldn't have known what to say. But I think that Bedenbaugh.
I'm George. I brag about being
he's never going to be a head coach. I don't think he wants to be a head coach.
There might have been a
Todd
time, but
Bates-
I think that time's probably passed.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, Todd Bates is going to be talked about a lot when Grayson Halton goes to the combine
Man.
over the next couple of months, I guess,
He's
leading
probably
into
going to
the
get two
NFL draft.
He's going to have 2 defensive tackles probably drafted.
Yeah, it'll just be interesting to see how high Halton ends up going. I would love to see him go in the second round or in the day 2. I think that he obviously had the injury and didn't get to fully participate in the Senior Bowl, but I think our Mason, there's been a couple of these new draft projections that have had him sliding into day 1, back
Really?
into the first round.
Wow.
Now, I think it was CBS Sports, so I'm putting a lot of stock into that one. I appreciate that one.
I think if he goes out and he tests,
He was
well,
32. He
Yeah.
was the last pick.
I think he'll be a day 2 guy, but he'll be like Benito. I mean, Benito was
I think it's worked out pretty
Yeah.
daggum well for Nick Benito.
Benito a round 2 or round 3?
I think he was second round. I want to say he was
think
the
that's-
4th or 5th pick of the second round.
That's right.
He went early on that night. I remember that.
Yeah.
I was going to say 51 or something like that. Hang on, 64.
64th, yeah.
Oh, so it was
he
at
was
the
deep.
end of the second
Yeah.
round. I stand
That surprises
corrected.
me. I thought it was earlier than that too.
Hell of a draft for Denver.
Yeah.
I was there.
Where? Oh, in Denver?
In Denver when he was drafted.
Did you tell everybody you hated the pick?
No, I told him
you were
because
very
everybody's like,
anti.
"Oh, is he any good?" And I was like, "Yeah, he's really good."
He can get after the quarterback a little
Yeah.
bit.
I mean, he's kind of in line to be because guys that are at the top right now are going to be falling off soon. I don't know. Myles Garrett may play until he's fit. He may be one of those people that can play until he's 45.
That
Just
the
such a
announcement's
freak,
Thursday, right? On the Defensive Player of the Year, the award show honors,
Yeah,
NFL honors. Isn't that Thursday
Benito
night?
the favorite?
I don't know. He's a finalist. I know that.
But I was just saying, I mean, he's in line to become the premier defensive end in football.
He's getting paid like it.
That's all that really matters. And I mean, 4 years in.
It's crazy.
It's going to be Myles Garrett.
Yeah, he set the record.
He's the big time favorite.
To win it.
Yeah,
Minus 500 or 1,000.
minus 10,000.
Oh,
Wow.
so he
I'd
did
say,
win.
Yeah.
They don't even need to announce it. He did win it. Congratulations, Myles Garrett.
My God.
I would imagine we're going to get some Myles Garrett during the Olympics. I would imagine he's going to be over there supporting his girlfriend. Isn't his girlfriend Chloe the snowboarder?
Is it really?
I'm pretty sure. I know that they were smooching on the sidelines at one point this year.
How about I guess this is not that off topic.
This is the Winter Olympic portion of the program.
Lindsey Vonn skiing on a torn ACL.
I know, that is crazy.
Unbelievable. But I will say though, it's unbelievable. But if she crashes out, that'd be bad. She could get really injured.
She's skiing on the with no ACL. I think there's a chance.
Can you guys think of a sport where that would be less, or I guess more painful and or more necessary?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You just got back from the mountains, George.
Dude.
Did you need your ACL to ski?
Yes. And I was worried about them bursting while I was out there.
It's incredible. I didn't even know that Lindsey Vonn was back skiing until
add that
she
on top
qualified for the team. And
if it was Lindsey Vonn who is 22 or whatever, it'd be different. You're talking about, how old is Lindsey Vonn? She's in her 40s, right?
Yeah, she's 41, I think.
Is she? Yeah, 41. Still got it.
Damn, Chloe Kim is 25 years old now.
Still got it. How old's Myles Garrett? 30?
With Venmo Stash, a toggle on one hand and ordering a ride in the other means you're stacking cash back. With Venmo Stash, get up to 5% cash back when you pick a bundle of your favorite brands. Earn more cash when you do more with Stash. Venmo Stash terms and exclusions apply. Max $100 cash back per month. See terms at venmo.me/stash terms.
See, he
Myles
was class
Garrett?
of 14.
He's 30 something, 34 maybe.
No, he's not that old.
He is
He'd be
30.
about 30.
He's 30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought he was older too.
Well, he's been playing. He's been one of the dominant defensive end edges in the sport of football for the last.
Since he was in the NFL.
Yeah, I guess. What did you say?
Jump.
2014, class of 2014, Josh?
Yeah, he was class of 2014. He was not Rivals' #1 player in the country that year.
It's incredible. What's even more incredible is looking back at some of those pictures of him at Denton Guyer. It's like, oh my God, people don't look like that.
What was it?
I took some of those, Eddie. He was a space alien. You were just like, holy shit. Because he was 6'5", 230, and just muscle. It was crazy.
Did he actually play organized basketball too? Or not in high school?
I don't.
He might have been one of those guys that was really good as a sophomore and junior, and then when it was like, hey, bud,
you got to focus on football.
Yeah,
full-time.
you're not a basketball player anymore. I don't know that for a fact, though. There's been a couple of those guys that have been really good basketball players that probably could have gone on and played in college and didn't.
Sammy B was one of them.
Yeah. He was a very good basketball player. I didn't bring it up on
I saw Sam play a game.
I didn't bring it up on the last week's pod, but a couple weeks ago, Putnam City North had a kid make a game winner against Edmond Santa Fe, and his name's CJ Heskett. It's Tim Heskett's kid.
You tell me about that.
Just the white
I had
kid.
no idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the clip.
Yeah.
He's a baller.
He's a sophomore.
Supposedly
he's pretty good.
His dad's size, or is he bigger?
I would say that he's probably a little bit taller, but not he's not 6'4" or anything by any means. I bet he's 6'1", maybe 6 foot.
If you can remember who Tim Heskett is, you can have an opinion on the Lloyd Noble situation.
Yeah, you get a say.
Look,
you definitely get a say.
There's three things that go together better than anything else in OU basketball lore: Rinzai Stone, Tim Heskett, in Stillwater, Bedlam.
Yeah, was that the closing out of Gallagher Iba?
Yes, I think so.
I remember watching that. Definitely remember watching that.
I don't know if I was there or not. It's one of those things that seems surreal.
Was that the Nolan Johnson year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say that it was, Josh. But now that I say that, I don't think that those two overlapped.
God, we were talking
this.
This
Does seem a little earlier than.
I was talking this morning with T-Bag.
Nolan Johnson did have a massive game at Gallagher Iba his senior year, though. I do remember that.
Yeah. Well, Kelvin would just give him the ball at the top of the key and just say, "Go make buckets." It was like he was the only guy on the floor.
Those were the days.
Well, I want to say that final was 51-50 or something like that.
It was. It was something disgusting.
Game.
Now we're all looking.
See, people, I used to watch basketball once upon a time.
Eddie, is OU going to win another game?
Yeah, they're going to win tonight. Going to Rupp and going to upset the Wildcats. No, I don't know, George. That's a great question. I think that they will, just because I find it hard to believe that they could lose 15 in a row. But I don't think they're going to win tonight in Lexington. I certainly don't think they're going to Nashville and winning and beating Vanderbilt. So then you're up to 10. Then you got 5 left. I think my dad has said it best. Well, you only got about 3 more weeks of this bullshit. And then we'll go find a coach. It's so bad. It is kind of incredible though, isn't it? Like just how close they get, and you know that it's coming. I tweeted with 7:03 left on Saturday in the Texas game that I was mentally prepared for it. I didn't think that they were going to get outscored 28-4 over the last 8 minutes.
It feels like tonight they're either going to get blown out by Kentucky or Ortega always going to hit a buzzer beater to beat them.
Wouldn't that be something? And wouldn't it be more disgusting if it was the latter and they played well again and just couldn't get over the hump? I don't know which night it's going to be, but when you're in an 8-game losing streak like they are, at some point you don't show up.
I think
it happens tonight or Saturday.
Yeah, one of them they're getting blown out.
They're getting beat by like 50.
Have they led in every game during this losing streak except for Florida?
I don't think that they ever led at South Carolina.
Okay.
Because remember, that was the game
close.
that they started out dog shit. I mean, down like 15 to...
And then they played decent in the second half, but couldn't
Yeah.
close
I think they got as close as 3 at one point. I do commend them for picking themselves up off the floor every night and showing a little bit of effort, because it could be easy to just roll the ball out and get beat by 30.
George and I both feel like point shaving is going on.
There are moments that you go through,
especially late in games, where it's like, are they purposely throwing the ball away or airballing on like these wide open shots?
Nigel Pack will take like airball threes, and you're just like, what?
Well, I don't want them on Saturday.
And
and he's actually shooting the ball a lot better than he did when he was in a kind of a low spell.
And I don't want to just accuse one person of point shaving, but it is very curious that it seems like every close game, it's Xavier Brown dribbling around for 28 seconds on the shot clock and then just throwing it up. And it's like, what? Where did this? And this is the part where it's like,
it doesn't.
I don't
even
think Porter Moser's like in the huddle saying, "All right, guys,
no.
Xavier, you're just gonna dribble around and then throw something up."
Yeah,
you know,
it's just there's no confidence in what they do late. It's hard to even explain unless you've been through it and watch it. It's like, that one thing. It's like, yeah,
and that's what sucks too. Is like, it's going to happen, and then you hate yourself because you watched it. You just didn't quit.
And for kind of believing that, okay, today's going to be the day that they can figure it out.
I can't believe I'm pissed off after the game's over. Not as much as they lost, but because I sat there and watched the whole thing when I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, and allowed yourself to think, what if?
It's maddening.
It is maddening. But like I said,
at least we have Jennie.
You got a couple weeks. Jennie and the girls. The South Carolina game was awesome.
Texas game, they played hard in the second half.
They played
well. If they would have played like that in the first half, they would have possibly won the game.
Yeah.
The problem
is
just
don't have the players that Texas has.
No,
the
Texas
depth
is so
or the
deep.
I guess the experience is the way.
Yeah.
I like you said. I like a lot of the young players. They're just not ready yet.
Yeah, and to go on the road like that, like. Texas has the longest home winning streak in the country. That was their 38th victory
Texas
in a row.
Legitimate. We've said this before. It's not breaking news. They're a legitimate national title contender.
Yes. And I think OU is a Sweet 16, Elite 8 type of team.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fantastic.
And when they play their best basketball, they can play with anybody. We saw that against South Carolina. Now, that was also somewhat, if you watch that game, South Carolina looked very sluggish in that game. I don't know if they showed up with their A game, but yeah, OU women's basketball, they're really good. I don't know if they're great. They're very young.
I love Brooklyn Stewart. I think she's going to be
really good. She's going to be really good.
I think I've only seen a little bit of Lofton, but I like what I've seen there.
Yep.
But I mean, we know Chavez has got to be
and Chavez didn't play well.
Yeah.
In Texas, I think Texas basically said, we're going to force somebody else to beat us. We're not going to let Chavez just go off. And
the crowd was on her from the very beginning.
Yeah. So I expect them to bounce back, though. They have a big one on Monday. They play Vanderbilt on the road, and Vanderbilt's number 5 in the country. That's a team, though, that I think Oklahoma should be able to be in that game and have a chance to win.
Got a weird schedule because they have no game this week. They don't have a weekend game, so they play 3 games in 6 days. They go Monday, Thursday, Sunday.
Yeah,
which is kind of weird.
My hardest thing about watching OU women's basketball is George, I've voiced my frustrations to you, and you calm me down. But, like, Reagan Beers, sometimes she just doesn't fit in the lineup, and other times she does something that no one else can do.
Yeah, she's
just such a... I think the thing is, Jennie is not going to design her offense to highlight her strengths. She's running her offense, which is up and down the court.
Yeah.
And that's not always Reagan Beers' strength. I mean, a lot of times
No.
a lot of times you're wondering, is Reagan Beers down on the other court?
But I do think
where is she?
I do think OU does do a good job, for the most part, when things go bad or the other team's going on a run. They're like, all right, we're feeding Reagan the ball. We're going to get her the ball, and she's going to go to the basket. The thing about Reagan Beers is she is easily, in my opinion, the most consistent player OU has, because, like you said, sometimes she's going to be frustrating, but then the other 80% of the time she's really dang good, and you know exactly what you're getting from her.
She's getting a rebound that nobody else can get.
You know
she's getting a putback that nobody else can put back.
She's going to give you 16 points and 12 rebounds every single night. Like, you are going to get that every single game, no matter what. Now, there's going to be moments where it doesn't look great, or she has a bad pass, or she fumbles with the ball or whatever, but she's going to get you the 16 and 12 pretty much every single night, no matter the opponent. And you go back to South Carolina game, she was awesome. She shut down South Carolina's big girl.
Yeah. I mean, for them to be more than, like a Sweet 16 Elite 8 team, they're going to need Chavez to grow up fast.
And they're going to need Verhulst.
And they're going to need Verhulst to play out of her mind.
Which Verhulst,
Texas.
Since the South Carolina game, Verhulst is starting to hit her shot. She's starting to find her stride a bit. And if she can give you, 15-ish points a game, and you get what you get from Reagan, then I think you feel pretty good.
And I think Zaya Van can grow up a lot.
And she didn't play well against Texas.
I think she's grown up a lot this year. Just in
but she came out in the second half and hit some threes against Texas.
Yeah, she didn't handle the pressure early in the game.
Well, nobody did.
No. They had 13 turnovers.
Texas, they were literally almost scared in that first half.
But I think they'll be fine. I think they're gonna host. I think they only dropped one spot in the AP poll. I'd be surprised if they end up not. I mean, they'd have to really fall apart here down the stretch to not host.
As of today, they were hosting and then going to Fort Worth, and you still got the 4-1. Most likely UConn against somebody like a UConn. Yeah,
it'll be.
I guess
cool.
It's better than getting sent out to Sacramento and playing UCLA. I don't know.
What would be cool? I'll be excited to watch the SEC tournament for the women, because that'll give us a chance to see if they go up against an LSU, or give us a chance to see how much better they've.
Well, and that's how they kind of went on their run last year. Remember, they started playing really well at the end of the season, and they beat Kentucky, who had beaten them twice during the regular season. They beat them in the SEC tournament, and then they got smoked by South Carolina in the semis. But I agree, and the SEC is just so dang good. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Really good. By the way, the Nolan Johnson game, March 4th, 2000. Season high 21, overcoming a 13-point second half deficit to beat number 13 Oklahoma State 59-56. It was the final game for Oklahoma State's 6 regular seniors and the last game in Gallagher-Iba Arena before the 62-year-old building is expanded. Here's some names from that Oklahoma team. Awesome names from Oklahoma Bast. Nolan Johnson, Eduardo Nahra, J.R. Raymond, shout out J.R. Raymond.
J.R. Raymond.
One of my childhood favorites, Kelly Newton, freshman Kelly Newton, and a freshman Hollis Price.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow. Kelly could shoot. That's one of those things. He's a guy that gets forgotten, but that dude could, when he got hot, he could run them in.
He wore the cut-off T-shirt, the T-shirt that was actually cut, so there was a little bit of sleeve left. Some of my favorites.
I was having a discussion with T-Bag. For those that don't know, he's kind of one of our producers in the morning on my radio show. We were talking about the new stadium and how it'd seat 8,000. And by the way, don't go read the YouTube comments on that show.
I already did. It's pretty funny.
It is funny, but it is also just
what's the gist? Because I'm not going to look on my own.
The main one that seems to be everyone is in a tizzy about is someone that's mad that it's only 8,000 seats.
Well, these people are war criminals. They know nothing what they're speaking on.
They don't understand anything. If you're complaining about
go find me arena that has been built in the last 5 years for a college basketball program that's over 10. Maybe even over
here's
9.
The thing, though, Eddie, you like conspiracy theories, and there are some OU fans that have fallen down this conspiracy hole that because what they're doing at the stadium with the lowering seating capacity also means that they're making all the seats more expensive and squeezing out the little man.
When you
and
put
that's
it like
where
that,
this person is coming
I hope
from.
they do, specifically for that person.
We all have that dream trip we've been wishing we could go on, but too often life, or usually price, gets in the way. That's why Priceline is here to help you turn your dream trip into reality. With up to 60% off hotels and up to 50% off flights, you can book everything you need for your next adventure. Don't just dream about that next trip. Book it with Priceline. Download the Priceline app or visit Priceline.com and book your next trip today.
Go to your happy price, Priceline.
But it's a rabbit hole that some people have gone down.
That's just what arenas are doing nowadays.
Well, and I was talking. My original point was I was talking to T-Bag this morning. I was like, that was a terrible idea to make Gallagher-Iba 13,000 seats.
But at the time when they did it back in 2000,
yeah,
that's what everybody was doing. You were making these large arenas. You were expanding to 13,000.
Well, and it was pre-Thunder. I mean,
yeah, sure.
If they could have foreseen, how Thunder would affect college basketball in this state, they never would have done it.
That was 26 years ago when they put those plans together.
But Gallagher-Iba was just such a special place when it was 6,000 or whatever it was.
Would you rather, and I guess this is how I would answer that question, honestly, is would you rather have 8,000 in a rabid on top of you arena, or would you rather have 13,000 spaced out and it feels like 7? Like, I think I know the answer to that, and it's pretty simple to me.
Yeah, I think everyone should believe that 8,000 is the way to go. But look, anybody that's gone to OU games over the years, they know that 10,000 is never going to be filled on a consistent basis. So, all right. I think that's about all I got. Josh, anything on your mind? Vacation went well, I assume?
Yeah, it went pretty well. Made sure to drink a little more heavily this time,
Like water,
and that seemed to make the days go a little
better. You mean
better.
alcohol?
Yes, absolutely. Colder in Florida, like it was like 50s, 60s the whole week in Orlando. It's kind of a strange deal.
They were prepping for the winter storm, weren't they? You were on the back end of that, I guess.
Yeah, like we left, and the day after we left, it was colder in Orlando than it was in Alaska.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It was crazy. It's a weird deal. I will say, proud of the girls. They are strong roller coaster riders. They rode Tron. They rode everything.
Tron.
So
we were talking about that.
Yeah. I want to go on that ride.
It's pretty fun. It's all like and
Is
Lainey
it
was
thousands
like,
of dollars fun?
Yeah. Now again, you can do Disney cheaper. We just don't. But that's a whole different topic. But like Tron is pretty great. Like the acceleration's incredible. Like it's one of the fastest coasters from like 0 to 60 that I've ever been on. But it was just funny because Layla had never ridden it before. Layla, for those who don't know, Layla's 8, and I was sitting next to her and I'm talking to her beforehand, and she's nervous. She doesn't know what it's going to do, and I look over like right after like we get to the peak of the acceleration, and I look over at her and it's like she's processing the information. Then all of a sudden she lets out this huge scream. And then she was kind of off from there. And then, wrote everything, Guardians of the Galaxy, all that good stuff. So, it is a good time. It's fine. It's certainly not something I have to do again, even though I know that I eventually will go again. So.
All right.
Josh, you got to come to Norman and check out our coffee bar.
Yeah. I wish I could share the messages that are being extended in the warm room between these guys and their barista selves making their specialized coffees.
We're just sharing information to make our coffee game stronger. I mean, I don't know what you want.
We have.
I hate coffee.
We're counting.
I have no taste for it.
We're counting the number of pumps, to make the perfect latte. And
I know a lot of people out there want a studio update. We do not have one, but we can tell you we are well caffeinated.
Well caffeinated. And I would throw out there, too, that we have been informed that 2 pumps of vanilla, probably not enough. If you go 3 pumps, we call it a hawking around here. What'd you guys think about the Epstein files? It's intriguing. It's fascinating to me.
I haven't. You are taken by it. I just haven't dug into. I haven't had time to dig into it.
You got to dig in. That's one of the reasons I want to get back into Twitter, because I might have missed something today that came out.
Yeah, you're locked out of Twitter.
Got to get back in.
By the way, Usman Dang was traded.
To who?
Well, he's been traded twice today already.
Oh, I like
Oh
that.
my God.
I think
He's a hot priority.
Maybe
Hot commodity.
I don't know if I've kept track close enough with this, but I want to say he was sent to Charlotte and now he's going to Chicago.
Well, how does that work?
I don't know.
How did we trade him?
Maybe
to
it's
Charlotte?
the other way. Might be Chicago, and now he's with Charlotte.
So who did we
I
get
don't
from
know.
Charlotte?
No one
Mason
picked
Plumlee was the rumor I saw.
Mason Plumlee?
Yeah, Mason Plumlee.
We
yes.
got Mason Plumlee, huh?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
like that.
That's awesome.
I'm down for some Mason Plumlee.
Also, the Thunder have 10 players out for the game tonight.
See, what the Thunder do here is they kind of even things out. They went out and got Jared McCain, who paints his fingernails, but then they backed it up with a big white guy in Mason Plumlee.
Is he
I like
white?
that. Plumlee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he,
Plumlee brothers that went to Duke?
I thought he was a little mix. Can't
Think
say
so.
No. I think it's
He was
white as
hated
the
as
game.
Duke.
straight white.
There might be nobody more white in the NBA than Mason Plumlee.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay. I do like that too. I guess I could say I have not liked Mason Plumlee, which is a good thing, because I always thought he was, pretty decent. All right, that's going to do it. Yeah, we got nothing else. So we'll be back again next week. We'll have a recruiting report up for you on YouTube to go along. Anytime any news breaks, we're doing instant reactions. So we've had quite a few of those lately with the Jay Valai, and then last night we did the Supreme Court deal with the entertainment district. So check us out on YouTube. Keep checking us out on the podcast platforms. Most importantly, sign up for Sooner Scoop. Fall or spring football's getting ready to start. You have pro days, NFL draft. So always lots of stuff going on, of course, recruiting as well. So, all right, that's going to do it. We'll be back again next week for another edition of the Unofficial 40 podcast right here on Soonerscoop.com.